Last year, my business pulled in almost $500,000 in revenue while I was still consulting myself. After helping over 80 sales professionals shift into consulting, I realized that most people already have the skill to achieve similar results, if not better results, but they're stuck. They don't know where to start, they don't have case studies, they don't have testimonials or referrals to back them up. And that's exactly what we're gonna be breaking down in part 2 of the Mastermind, where we brought together top sales professionals, some who were just starting consulting and others who've already been closing and doing 10, 20, maybe even 30,000 a month in take home. And if you missed part 1, the link will be somewhere down there or in the description below, so you can catch up later. But right now, let's talk about what's next for you as a high-performing sales pro. And more importantly, how do you actually start landing clients, even when you don't have case studies, testimonials, or referrals? So in today's session, we are going to cover the fastest way to get a case study without waiting for somebody to just take a chance on you, how to build authority and attract clients without years of experience, and the exact content, outreach, DMs, and scripts that turn strangers into paying clients. Let's go. So I think the first thing to paid ads is knowing, like, the first bit is going to be the specificity, as I talked about before. It's like if you've got a product, and the beauty is like you can have, if you have a product, who's bought it, and then that's who you should just specifically call it out to. Like if I have a biz op offer, prime example, if I get a plumber who bought it, then I'm gonna have just a certain set of ads that's specifically towards plumber, around that case study, the plumber, and the things that they're gonna care about. You can do those really big, broad, massive things, like once you've got a really well-trained pixel and things of that nature, but specificity is the first bit. Second piece is, I was calling it B testing, benefit testing, but you have to find like, well, I think my favorite concept that I've just defined recently is going to be in-market, mid-market, and out-of-market. So IM, MM, and OM. In-market people are people that are aware of what it is that you have to offer and to sell, and they're gonna have awareness of like the actual problems. So I've got a client right now that's really big on YouTube and teaches YouTube. And so I created 3 sets of ad for him in-market. So how many of you how many of you have a video on YouTube currently? Okay, what was the hardest part of making that video? Starting, okay. Starting, so I would put that in mid, starting. Desmond, you said you have a video on YouTube?
Yeah, starting.
Starting, okay, I put that there. Who else has a video?
Yeah, so just posting it, really.
Posting, okay, I put that in here, posting. And the reason why, does anybody know why posting is an in-market more than mid-market? Because someone who's doing it a lot and is in-market is gonna see this problem more times than the person who's just starting. So it's not an irritant yet. Starting, all of this stuff was new and novel, and so it's like there wasn't one thing that was more taxing than another. If you're doing it a lot, there'll be specific things that will like trip you up. Other in-market things are gonna be like scripting, titling, thumbnails, TN, I don't know how to spell thumbnail, one word. Anybody want to take a stab at what maybe some mid-market challenges are? Yeah, Nav? What is it?
Editing?
Editing kind of crosses over, yeah. I'd put editing as in-market. Any other stabs?
Having confidence on camera.
Yep, that's definitely mid-market. That's a great one, because in-market people, they just show up and they do the thing. Mid-market are like, well, how do I start? Do I sound good? Do I look good?
Any other stabs?
Consistency?
Yeah, consistency, exactly that.
Topics, like what to talk about?
That actually goes both ways, so I'd put it right in the middle. And then what about out of market? People that are not doing YouTube, what do you think challenges they have? It's really simple. Think really, really simple.
How to get leads?
How to get leads. This is gonna be what is like YouTube. And so you see how this sale is gonna be different for an out of market to mid-market to an in-market? This is the most important thing to understand about ads that most people get wrong, is they jumble this all together and they don't get what they want. In-market people are actually just sometimes even cheaper to get on a call than out-of-market people, because these people need to be convinced. If you're trying to bring out-of-market people to, hey, do you struggle with posting and scripting and titling? But you actually couldn't run an ad to out-of-market people that says this and would get these people through. And so this is the beauty of like what's gonna make the ad work, or what makes the ads work. And so when you're testing, one thing you have to get a general sense of is like, okay, for your product and who you wanna help, do you wanna deal with in-market, do you wanna deal with mid-market and out-of-market? I love in-market people because they're the easiest ones to talk to. Like, you guys are already in remote sales, already have an interest. You guys are all about as in-market as it gets. Some of you are mid-market, none of you are out-of-market. Out-of-market would be if this is just an open to the public event. So this then leads you into your testing process. Once you have an understanding of the differences between how these people think, now we need to find what are called hooks, which are just like the ways you get attention. If you think about the difference between TikTok videos that get a ton of views and TikTok videos that get no views, it's all about that first 3 seconds and what you're doing to get that scroll to stop. That in-market person, they're gonna like a hook that might look differently than that out-of-market person. That in-market person might wanna see you show up in the ad with like a Miro board behind you with like, here's my full and complete YouTube system, because they're in, and so they're like, oh, that's kind of, they get drawn into that. This out-of-market person's gonna see that and just see your rocket science and doodles on the board and right past it. This person's gonna need like a high edited, like, hey, you could make money with YouTube. And so this is where you then have to begin testing into the hooks. Now, the most important part of the hook actually has nothing to do with the visuals, but the words that you are saying, the actual words themselves. And so I have a process right now that I'll talk about at a high level overview. I haven't necessarily refined it down to like a potent science yet. Once we do, it'll be shipped to the program. You guys in there will get it first. But I create, let's see if we can get this to go. No, okay. I create 30 image ads. 30 image ads. It's 15 and 15, so 2 different callouts. So CO, so callouts. So for example, for this client I'm working with right now, name some industries that might be interested in doing YouTube. Anybody want to take a stab?
Cosmetics, fashion.
Fashion, okay. So that could be a call out. So people that are in fashion. Anybody else? Fitness, perfect. So like, I picked 2 call outs. If you're in fitness and struggling with posting, scripting, titling, and thumbnails, we'll show you how to do that in X amount of time with our method. Boom, ad. And that person, what kind of video? Well, it takes nav. So in that video, the middle funnel video, what things should I talk about? But so that person, that middle funnel video is gonna be like, hey, we are the best in the world at creating post, scripting, and titling. Like, we've just helped this fitness influencer do, has been able to get this incredible result. This person's been able to get this credible result. This person get this incredible result. If you're interested, click the link down below to set up a call. If you need a little bit more of a reason why, well, who am I? My name's Caleb, and I've been doing YouTube for X number of years. I've worked with this many people. I've specifically to the fitness space, and we've just opened up a couple new spots for our special program where we'll show you how to get incredible results. Book a call, and I'll see you on the other side. And then in that thank you video, you have to explain to them like your science behind like your mechanism, break down your mechanism. Okay, so you're here to learn how to do posting, scripting, titling, and thumbnails. Why is our way of doing that different than everybody else? Well, we have what we call the CGE method. And then just like that, we've created a really strong case for this person. And now closers, if you had somebody who's seen that, what do you think that call is going to be like? Exactly, layup, because they show up and all you got to do is like, what questions do you have around it? They might not have any. And then it's a matter of, do they want to commit to it or not? Because they can't say, do you do it for people like me? Because like, no, you'd only be here if we did it for people like you. They can't say, how does it work? Or they might, and your pitch kind of covers that up. It's just a, do I want to part ways with the money or not? And that's what you guys are all great at, is that whole parting ways with the money thing. So yeah, in market, mid market, out of market. The best place to start is in market. The next place you're going to go is mid-market, and then if you want to do mega scale, you got to do out-of-market. Show of hands if you think this is easier to sell. Show of hands if you think this is easier to sell. Exactly right. So this is where your skills as a marketer will be challenged as you move across the spectrum. If you want to make more money, you have to be able to take your business out here. If you want to make easy money, you take your business here and keep it there. This is why most offers can't get past 100K a month, is because there's only so many people in market every single month that are interested in this and want to do it with you. There's plenty of people that are in there but just don't want to do it with you in your business, and so that's why they don't buy. And that's where you have a bunch of other competitors. But as you get to these mega scales, like these huge real estate offers or opportunity offers, this is where you move from B2B segments to B2C segments, because these people are less sophisticated, or maybe just an uneducated business owner. Bringing this back to ads, well, 30 image ads, 2 callouts. Try to do them as in-market as possible. Come up with hooks, which is just creative ways of saying. I can actually read you off some of them for my client that I'm working with now. I'll actually read off a couple, and I want you guys to shout out after if you think it's in-market or out of in-market, mid-market, or out of market. We're only doing in-market and mid-market. The nuances are very, very subtle in them, but once you understand how to see this, it really makes all the difference in how it performs. So here's one for you. Focus and grow your YouTube into a profitable client acquisition machine in 3 months or less. Show of hands for in-market. Show of hands for mid-market. Mid-market. That's good. Okay. We'll help you make your first 6 figures on YouTube without spending hours scripting, titling, and making thumbnails. Show of hands for in-market. Show of hands for mid-market. Exactly, in-market. So you guys kind of get it? Yeah? Okay, cool. So this is kind of the most recent science I've boiled it down to. This is Epiphany's fresh off the press. You guys are getting them fresh here today. It's not shipped into the program yet. And that's kind of the intro to paid ads. And so what you then want to do is test these. What will happen is you're going to put, I recommend you put $300, 3 to 500, behind 500. If you guys have ever spent money on ads before, your budget will never be spent evenly. Facebook as a platform, all social media platforms, what do you think they care about most?
You spending money on ads.
That's actually their second priority, second to third priority. Yeah, but that's good. Yep, user experience is their first thing. User experience, them making money, and your ad results. That's the order it goes in. So their profitability and then your success. User experience. And so what will happen is you're going to have 30 of these. 3 of them will provide a better user experience and or the algorithm likes more of your 30. And so then what you do is you then do another 30 or 15. Really, I think I like 15 more than 30 on the second time around. And you're just going to focus on the key elements of it. So like, for example, if you have two of these or one of these that does really well, like of those examples I gave you, you might have one that says the titling, scripting, thumbnails, and all that stuff. I'll do 15 that's like without spending hours on titling, without doing hours on thumbnails, without doing hours on scripting. Each individual ad will have its own core thing that it's focused on. Let it spend, and then you'll see which benefit floats to the surface. Okay, people seem to just hate the scripting process. And then from there, your mechanism becomes like 5-minute scripting. And your business is predominantly around being a scripting business, and your offer is predominantly around the benefit of scripting with all the fringe benefits of all the other things you help them with. And that's how you find like a winning hook or an angle. Yes, we'll do Joel, and then, yeah.
Is that doing wide targeting?
Good question. So, targeting, that's its whole other animal. Targeting, at least on Meta, falls into 2 categories. One is, once more, your call out, because this is where, like in a video ad, if you say in the first 6 seconds, if you're a coach or a consultant, everybody who's not is just going to scroll right past. This is also true on YouTube. YouTube, you don't get paid if someone hits that skip button immediately. So that's how it finds you to show your ads to. So this is why it's really important that you do ads with callouts in them and do not do ads without callouts. Because if you don't, what will happen is it will just make your content entertainment. I had that recently. I ran my ads for Launch Accelerator, my B2B, and I had one that I didn't do a call out in the first 5 seconds. And you know who Facebook just showed it to? Just a bunch of people that were Ethiopians and liked looking at me and just started following me and liking my content and asking me if I was Ethiopian. So that's why your call outs, because they're focused on user experience.
What was the answer?
Oh yeah, I am Ethiopian. User experience. They want to see a handsome Ethiopian guy, it will show them that. So that's where you got to be careful with that. And also, yeah, that data goes to the pixel, and if it gets to the pixel guy, that's just puts it to the wrong direction really quick. So that's why call outs are so important. But for targeting, make your call out really clear. And then I recommend, at least in the beginning, if you have a brand new pixel or data set that's never seen the conversions or like leads on it, do it to the interest group that your market should be in. So like for all of my sales consulting ads, it was sales as a career. Sales is just like a career, which had like a couple million people in it. And I recommend you want to be in an audience that's got like 3 million people plus. Don't do it open targeting. I know people that do open targeting.
We used to do it as well.
No, we only ever actually did it to salespeople. I did it to salespeople and marketing for a while. Just people that had an interest in marketing or marketing agency, which is its own interest. The return, at least the return in 30 days was like a 3, and like the return on marketing was like 2 to like 1.5. So we just eventually just cut the marketing piece out and just only did it to salespeople and we were fine. And you have to keep in mind there's 3 million people in here, so don't worry about necessarily running out of impressions, and also people will kind of forget about your ad. They'll remember your face, but they'll go blind to your messaging. This is where you run into ad fatigue, and so that's a whole topic for another day. But you want to find just like an interest group that represents your niche that's as broad as possible. So for mine, that's coding for IT, cybersecurity, boot camps. Once more, I have to go through this with my ads. My ads are you in coding, IT, cybersecurity, tech, cloud, and you want to make an info program? It's like too many call outs. But first, I'm just taking stabs to see like what comes through. Like what booked? I had a coding bootcamp book, and I had someone who taught IT book. It's like, okay, cool. Now my 30 begins coding bootcamps and IT, and then I can begin this process in one place. So sometimes you just got to throw money at it and see what comes through at the other end. And that's You have to pay to test. And so this is where most people go wrong on Facebook, is they sit here thinking, oh, I'm gonna get a 4 to 5x ROAS at the gate. You can and you could, don't get me wrong, like FSC was that for me, but most of the time you're gonna have to be prepared to spend like $1,000 to maybe $2,000 just figuring out what your ad should say, and then you can actually try to run a real campaign behind it. But for your targeting, pick just an interest group that your market is related to that's as broad as possible and start there. If you get a pixel that's got sales data, that's got lead data, that's when you can start to take the targeting off or put it on Advantage Plus and just let it do what it wants to do. If you talk with Meta, they're gonna say, hey, just put it on Advantage Plus. I don't like it. I don't want just a bunch of random Ethiopian people that just come and like and comment on my stuff. So yeah, I wanna put some guardrails on that. Great question. Right next to Joel. I forgot your name. What's your name?
I forgot my question.
Oh, took too long to answer. Brent, welcome in. Yeah, other questions about ads? Yeah, Desmond, then we'll do.
So just making sure I understand the purpose. So it's like you're taking $500 to validate product market fit or your target persona, right?
Yes.
And the structure of that is like one campaign with what, like 20 creatives?
Yeah, so I do. So that's actually something where it's like, I don't actually have an answer to that because that's part of like the process that I was blessed when I first did this. I knew that I should have been doing it through sales and marketing. So I already had that kind of dialed in. So I don't have an answer for that now. That's something that I'm about to go through the process of, because I might have to add a step in front of this, which is just like a boring image to a bunch of different interests to see which one you get the most reach on. I happen to know this because I had played around with a bunch of different ad strategies prior, trying to get sales consulting to work. There's a bunch of little mini tests that I did, and then I kind of saw that just sales as an interest was working better. So I don't have an answer to that. That's a piece of the equation that still has to get solved. Yes, you had a question.
Yeah, so you said you run the ads into to collect emails, and
yes,
you have like some kind of like kind of system in place, right, where you're nurturing them through that. Like how much work is that having the email list and like handling like I guess the nurture? Like for someone who's solo, I'm guessing you have like some system.
Yeah, this is where like the effective execution of the direct funnel in this process is a bit of a machine. And this is also why you need a sales consultant. And this is also why we're working as hard as we can to try to just like I did with that whole process there, like 1 to 10, how hard was that to follow along with? Maybe we'll take a scan. Everyone wants to take a like an 8? 8 being easy or 8 being hard?
8 being easy.
8 being easy. Yeah. So it's like the better I get at this stuff, the painfully difficult. The better we get at it, the more that it can turn into something like that, and then hopefully, and maybe at some point, we can just figure out how I can wrap myself into an AI, and then you just try to leverage yourself to the hilt. Oh, how hard is it to do the emails? So I recommend that you have 14 days. 14 days of emails. At least have 7 before you ship. And the reason why you don't want to invest in all 14, it's actually good to do 7 right out the gate when you ship, because these emails are just going to pretty much say, hey, here's the stuff we're doing, book a call. Hey, here's the stuff we're doing, book a call. Once you understand your angle and your messaging, then you can come back to this and just make these more specific to like the benefits that people care about. Like the YouTube example, if you just find that everybody cares about script writing, then you go and just make those all script writing specific, and then you add more of them. And then the best way to get this to rip, if you want like a really effective people to book on their own, just have only case studies, like just day by day by day by day by day by day by day. Cheat code to that is just if your client has like customer success videos, after they opt in, here's John and how he went from this to this. Here's Steve and how he went from this to this. Here's Patrick and how he went from this to this. Just make each day a different face in front of them, and that will get you the highest conversions.
Yep. Question on case studies.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of clients that don't want to do a testimonial or case studies, not because it's not performing, just because they'd rather not.
Put their face on it or something, or put their brand on it.
Can't you pay them? Say, hey, I'll give you $1,000.
No, they want to stay. Yeah, they don't want to throw the whole brand. Yeah.
Because a lot of them in the past are like, yeah, if you put my name on your website, people are going to start approaching me, and I can't be fucked. Sure.
Yeah, I would. Well, this is actually a joke thing that I did with one of my clients that did pretty well. You can make a little video or an email about it, and then just like change their name into something that's like a joke. But if you're in the industry, you'd know who it is. Right. So that's another way that you could get around it kind of compliantly. I can't recall the example, but for the real estate lead gen guys, it was like I don't know. For example,
Johnny Minder for Jeremy Minor.
Yeah, something like that. Like, hey, and you could put in there as a footer or put in the headline, hey, for confidential reasons, I can't say the name. I'm going to change it. If you happen to know it is, that's great. And then, yeah. So there was, I think for the real estate one, there was a company that was called like B Leads. B Leads was like a competitor. So we just call them like, if you happen to know the company Tree Leads, and it's a great inside joke for the people that know, because they go, oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. And especially if you describe the company in a way. They came to me with this, and we happened to give them closes, and they saw great results. I can't talk about their name, but Tree Leads crushing it now. If you want results like Tree Leads, click the link down below. It adds a little personality to your company as well.
It's actually something that I've seen big brands like Coca-Cola and what's the other one, Pepsi. They kind of do it with each other too.
Yeah.
Like they just put like the color, but they don't put the label.
Yeah.
And it's like always like, yeah, we know that logo.
Right. So that's exactly it. And I think, Joel, you're niche enough that people might be able to know it. Or if you went so far as to get someone to like make a remake of their logo in different colors, things of that nature. But I wouldn't do that though on like your bottom of funnel. I would only do that in your emails and things of that nature, just because you don't want to have a thank you page which just looks like a sociopath just rebranded all the companies in the industry. But I had that for FSC where it's like I had plenty of case studies that I couldn't talk about. But you just talk about the numbers, and if they see you as intelligent and articulate, they usually won't question as much, because it's like, that's another one that you guys will see as sales consultants. Like our members have had that. I can't say the name of my company in my case study. How are they going to believe it? Well, the fact that you could even articulate like this essay of all the things that have been done shows that you know it. So there comes a point where it's like, oh, they get it. Like you wouldn't know that unless you've been there. So, yeah, cool. Great question. Any others on paid ads?
Is Facebook YouTube the only paid ads you do?
Yeah, I don't do any YouTube, only Meta. Yeah, right now. Like, this is another misconception with paid ads, is thinking that you need all these like platforms and channels. Like, TikTok is an art to be good at a content creator. YouTube is an art to be good at. Like, you can have a very successful, good business and brand just with like one platform. So don't feel like you need to like go cross-platform immediately. Little ninja hack for you guys too, if you're ever working with clients, or maybe something if you've got a company that you're working with. Where you put your Facebook pixel and what conversion events you track is really important. Well, I could talk about this ninja hack, or I could talk about how I did Facebook ads for school. What do you guys, hands up for school? Hands up for ninja hack. Okay, split. What did you say?
Ninja hack? I think this will be-
Yeah, so I don't know which, I'm trying to figure out which direction to go, because like I could tell you guys about this way that you can get like leads to come through better, but none of you guys are necessarily running funnels. I could also talk about how I did Facebook ads to fill my school group pretty cheaply. I don't know if you guys have a bias. Facebook ads for school group? Yeah, so Facebook ads for school group, that 30 process, when you get your winning image, put it to, well, I'll just talk about what I did, because I could have done it a little bit differently. I put that to a lead capture. So you do the 30, you do the call out. This actually produced my best Facebook campaign in terms of just consistency and performance for like months on end. I put like $4,000 behind this. My group grew from like 600 members to 1,600 members in like 8 months, because I was just running ads to this thing constantly, traffic to this thing constantly. So call it, you do the 30 and 30. You're gonna find at the end of this, once you do this twice, this whole process times 2. Yeah, this was for a free group. Once you find your winner, I was getting $4 to $6 group joins consistently for like 5 months back to back. I was just doing $20 a day at this campaign. Facebook was yelling at me. He's like, hey, if you did this to 100, we could 10x your results really easily. I was putting them through to a lead capture where I got their email. And then after that, I would just immediately redirect them. There was a button that said like join group, and then I sent them to school and they joined the group. So if I draw that, my lead capture, so my ad just said how to get consulting clients under the radar. So my image ad was how to get consulting clients under the radar. My headline on my page was just the same thing that my ad said, with one box for an email to be put in. I had a 45 to like 55% opt-in rate on this, which is high as far as opt-in rates go. After this, I sent them to a thank you page. Check your inbox to get the guide. So I guess I had kind of like a lead magnet, but the guide was in the school. Like, it didn't even get emailed to them. So like after that, they just got directed to the school. Click here to get your guide. And then there was a button to like join school. And then when they pressed this, it sent them to the group. And then the email just said, like the email that they gave me here, I'll do a little email, looks like this, just said join the school group. And that was it. I had two image ads that, and I put probably $4.5 to like $5,000 behind this. I was amazed at my bill at the end of it because I just kept the $20 a day running for a long period of time. I'd spent a bunch more in the beginning to kind of bump the group up because I was doing just the primary group. You can, and if you spend a lot too, that whole group sales funnel flywheel thing really kicks off. I had done that. I didn't love those sales calls because those people weren't buying like, this will get you more out of market people than it will necessarily mid market and in market. It could be because of where my ad was, but I just found that the people that were most active in my group and booked were more out of market as opposed to in and mid. In and mid works great for high ticket. This worked well for like, you know, if you just have a coaching group and you want to get people to buy like your thing for like $1,500, this would kill. And the fact that it was $4 to $6 with all these steps, that was the most mind-blowing thing to me. And Meta got it really dialed. You put a conversion event on your opt-in, so you want to have your pixel sit here on your thank you page. So anybody that hits this, say like, hey, lead capture, that's what you want. And that's just the only conversion event that ran. That ripped for me, that crushed. I could probably turn this was one of the campaigns too that I could turn back on and it would perform exactly as it did, even though it's been off for like 2 months. Cool. Questions around Facebook ads for school?
Can you explain just one more time? I zoomed out literally halfway,
Yeah.
but I want to just make sure I really got it because it sounds important.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Just do it again.
Yeah.
Just that box, second and third box, please.
Just this. Do you want the ads piece or just the funnel strategy?
The phone, please.
The funnel strategy. Okay. Once you get your working ads.
Can you do both, please?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So ad strategy. If you got it's so if you're trying to pick or develop your niche, just pick your call out. Pick 2 people that you think or industries of people that would be interested in your thing. So if you're a remote closer, you could say like remote closers. I was doing. I don't have my image out. I could find it. It would take me a moment. I can't recall what my call out. I think it was just sales professionals was my call out in mind. Do 2 call outs, 30 image ads, 15 same headlines in each. So like 15 different like hooks, 15 different hooks, headlines. We've got the full process once more in FSC. Do that process once. You'll have 3 ads that will get all of your spend. From there, you could do that process again with 15. Try to find like what specific thing people are falling in love with. Of 15, you'll find that 2 to 3 of them will get all your spend. Once you find your 2 winners, how do you draw a crown? Yeah, that's a half decent crown. Once you find your winners, put them to an opt-in page. You're going to want to have this whole funnel built from the get-go. So when you're doing your ad testing, have the opt-in page sit there regardless and collect all the emails. What says in your ad, just also put that on your landing page, and don't have like the email. Have your headline, and have your email capture there. Don't put it behind a pop-up. Don't have like a button that triggers it. Just have the email thing sitting on the page, and just say like put in your email, and like press a button that says get the guide or like get whatever it is that you're offering. When that email, after they do that, they'll get sent to a page that says thanks. Access your thing here, and there's just you put a button that says join your school community. They press this button, redirects them to the about page of your school. That's where they have to put through their application to join the group. This email that you send them, the email says, congratulations, receive your guide. Press this button to join the school committee, send them to your about page. And then people will opt in. So, I mean, depending on how much you guys know about like paid ads, the fact that I could get someone to go through like 2 hoops to join the group for $4 to $6 was crazy. And the quality was good. The quality was half decent. I would split, like if you guys are going to do this, I would test this with potentially just your opt-in, and after that redirect them straight to the school, straight to the about page. I had done a little bit of that, but I just found that I like this process more because I love capturing emails. I really love building an email list because I've got someone on my team that will write them, and it's really free marketing if I need to play later. Just email. Yeah, you could do the phone in the group. You could do the phone in the group if you want to. Yeah. Goose.
Did you have data on what percentage of them you ascended?
Like on the conversions from the free group into something paid?
Yeah, I mean, I'm mostly just curious, like how qualified they were on average.
Yeah, so when I did this, like the challenge with like my sales consulting program is that there's actually like a pretty high barrier to entry, and it's not like a biz op-y type opportunity. Like I'm not like it's a way to make money, but the promise is like you guys make more money when you learn these skills, and like people that just want to make money don't want to do work. They just want like push button thing and I make money. And so this is where, as much as I did this, like a lot of people weren't qualified, not because they couldn't do it and because they didn't have the money. It's just like if I sat there, push came to shove, and I'm thinking, is this person going to get results? It was like, no, I could sell them, but it wouldn't really be clean. So this works well if you have an offer, an opportunity that is like more conventional. This will do great on B2C, and you can also do this B2B, but like what you're selling has to have like lower, kind of lesser qualification. You want to have an offer that's better for more mid-market to out-of-market people that are doing this. In-market people don't really go for this stuff as much in my mind because they are so intent-driven that like I don't need a guide. Like just give me the actual strategy. They'd rather book a call to just get that more specific thing for them. So this works great for filling your group. You'll fill your group more with mid-market to out-of-market. I wouldn't recommend doing this. That's if you want to sell something high ticket. That's where the direct funnel the other way is a better go.
So this would just be for population.
Yeah. If you want to build a huge list, get followers, people that engage and like you. Like I got a ton of people in my group that like watch my content, followed me, comment on my YouTube videos. It's a great way to kind of like force build your brand. For you guys that are starting as sales consultants, you want to sell sales coaching. This is a half decent route to go. So it just depends on your offer. That's kind of where the word is a strategic value add. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of related to the email stuff, like. I don't know if you started outsourcing it from the start. You said you have someone who writes the emails, but like my question is just like, how many hours per week do you think it is like for writing the emails?
It's just a day of grinding it out. So I'm not like for how I do content now. This might just be how I operate too. This is where it's like. I get input and advice. There's some entrepreneurs that are really good at this whole time blocking where they can just flip from like one mode to another. But I find that I have like a creative, I've got like 2 states. I've got like sales and money and closing mode where I'm just like a heat sinking missile at a target. An arrow. And then I have just more like, what's that thing that artists have where they've got this and it's got a thumb and you got all these paints on it. And then I've just got more of like a creative mode. So I do my content on Sunday evening. Like I'll have my person on my team write and kind of prep, and I'll work with them on creating all my content and ideas during the week, and then I'll do all my filming on Sunday. When I was doing my emails, that's actually why I'll show you guys this. When I was doing the sales consulting, there's a reason why my schedule had 2 days completely blocked off during the week, because I had like meeting and management days where I'm talking with people, and then I had just the creative content days where I had to just sit there and do CRM systems and deep work. I kid you not, those days, like. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd just drink caffeine, fast the whole day, put my hoodie on, tie the strings off, and I would sit for like 10, 12 hours straight, not talk to anybody, not eat anything, just kind of go into deep work. I cannot fluctuate flip-flop during my days when I'm doing this. I can't be doing sales calls during the day and then the evening switch to content mode. It's just, I can't get myself into that flow. And usually if you're doing any sales, like you kind of end the day and you're like, you sometimes lose faith in humanity because you deal with all these concerns. It's like, yeah, I'll get back to you, next Thursday. Yeah, you do that. So, but for the emails, like if I'm in a creative mode in a building day, it might just be a task that I need to do my emails. I'll bang them all out in just like one session, and then I'll put them in, and then I'll let it sit. And this is kind of like I kind of go in 2-week cycles too when I'm testing stuff or when I'm doing ads. It's like. It depends on how aggressive you are. This is one thing I'm kind of figuring out now is like I launched my B2B funnel, and there's I spent like $1,000 on that in a week, and it got all this data back, and you have to kind of go back into the flywheel and tweak a bunch of things and then launch it again and be prepared to watch. So you're kind of always going through like these cycles of testing something, looking at all the ideas and putting it back in and doing that. And this is where when you're doing this for like 2-3 clients, this is where it can sometimes become a lot and it slows it down. But yeah, in short, that's kind of how I operate and think and approach it. But yeah, the emails I just grind out in kind of one sitting. And then let them run, look at your open weights after like a week, 2 weeks. And then also, if you're doing sales calls, another thing I will say is if you guys are doing group funnels, do things in 30-day swings. Direct funnels give you fast feedback because people are getting on calls immediately with you, like 24, 48 hours, so you can see what's coming off your ad. If you're doing someone's coming into your community and you're doing like these upsell calls, like this is one thing that I really kind of did wrong is I pivoted a little bit too quickly because I was just trying to, like, people will join your group and because that ad and that image ad isn't like book a call today, your community is kind of like book a call today, these people will come in your community, actually consume your content and attend that call educated, and that might take them like 7 days. They're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna come to it when they're off, in the off hours in the evening. So don't be too quick to judge whether this is all working unless you do 30 days. So if you're gonna do a group funnel, this is where if you're gonna budget, be prepared to think, and like, I'm gonna spend this for 30 days and my testing window is gonna be 30 days as opposed to more of like a week. You can do the image testing in like a week, but be prepared to gauge the effectiveness and the profitability of your funnel in 30 days because what had happened was like I had stopped doing the group funnel, and then I still had all these bookings coming through because all these people had joined the community and were seeing me being active, and I had bookings come through for another 2 to 3 weeks. So it's like it spins up, and then it also like winds down. The direct funnel, the reason why I like that so much is because like when I stop it, it stops. When I start it, I start it. And so I have a lot more control. Groups and communities, once it picks up, you get these people that join and they intro themselves and they create engagement, and then other people who are dormant in the community, they come alive and they create engagement, and then you're getting calls, and then it all kind of picks itself up. But yeah, great questions. Cool. Others you guys have got on school groups? Sweet. You guys are liking the event so far? It's good?
Yep.
Sweet. Okay. Excellent. Yeah, I think we'll just open it up for like a Q&A if you guys just want to questions off the cuff. Any topic goes.
Yeah, I know you said 2 years. If I had 15 months experience, would you recommend just bang on another until the 24 months is up?
Have you had an outbound, like cold end-to-end sales position that you've worked?
Yeah, very minimally.
Very minimal. What was like the extent of the outbound or the cold?
As in, well, it's mostly been outbound dialing. I've done like full cycles, like taking like 6 calls for full cycles.
Yeah. Like if you wanted to speed that up, I don't know, find some like Goomba beginner offer, and then just do like, I don't know, if you've got something, if you find a cold calling opportunity or like a LinkedIn prospecting where you're gonna have to do full cycle leads, do that for like 3 months. Don't do that with the intention that I'm gonna stay here as a closer forever and make a ton of money. Do it just to get leads on the calendar and understand the difference between like pull marketing and push marketing. Like asking somebody, I don't love cold outbound because like when you book someone to the call, like you hate that guy that's like, why did you book a call? Well, I don't know, you asked me to book. It's like bro, get off the calendar. leave me alone. So have some experience with that, and just get a little bit of a feel for how those people are different, and you'll have to add a little bit more to the sales cycle. If you do that for like 3 months and like just focus, you could do that probably second to a sales gig. You could transition out sooner and you'd be set. It's more about the types of experience that you've gotten, because I'm sure, I know that you know Oz, so if you've done the high ticket closing inbound, just kind of ripping calls, you probably understand the whole one-to-one type scenario down. So
Yeah, great question.
If I can make a recommendation there.
Yep.
There's a website called Commission Crowd. You can go on there, find a ton of really good outbound offers. Just try it for like 3 months.
What's the website? Appreciate that.
Commission Crowd.
Commission
Crowd.
I think Glen Coco's another one.
Yeah, that's another
So
one, yeah.
specifically full cycle, just so you're seeing the entire process essentially.
Yeah, because you wanna feel the monotony and boredom of just doing the cold emails, the cold DM. Because one, it will give you more of appreciation for ads, but also when you sell somebody who's booked with you off of a cold email or booked off of a cold DM, and you've done your intro call, and you've done a second call and a follow-up call, you can see how helpful marketing is in helping someone get to that decision, as opposed to you having to educate them on each call to get them there. And then also that usually is in a B2B domain as well. So dealing with a more sophisticated person, understanding how to do that type of deal is important. Not only just for the sales experience, but these sales consulting deals look and feel a lot more like that.
If you want to speak to that as well.
Like, just to reinforce that point, like, so my background, I spent the first, out of 7 years, I spent the first 5 years just doing cold B2B outbound. So you're literally calling like CEOs, directors of sales, like directors at Fortune 500 companies with like serious business acumen, and they have no idea who you are or what your little startup is. And so like the sort of business acumen that you have to develop in order to initiate conversation or even book an intro call and get 15 minutes with them, it's like on the other end of the spectrum from doing like warm inbound funnels, and they already know what they're doing when they get on the call. So it'll just help you build some more tenacity and get a better appreciation of like the inbound stuff.
Yeah, I think it also makes those conversations better. Like I think of the student base too, kind of the way that you report back and talk about your conversations there. But also if you want to do sales consulting in bigger domains and companies, you have to know how to interface or speak with people in that way. So that's just like a skill that if you have that, it makes you, that you Swiss knife. Yeah.
What do you turn down as a client?
Who do I turn down as a client? Well, it depends on how much experience you have. Like me now, I just turn down, like my new kind of structure for anybody that wants to work with me is $25K for 60 days. And I've got the team, we've got a good science down, so I know that I can get you profitable in 60 days if you come up with this. And then like if you're a hardcore skeptic, I'm even willing to put 5K of that. I'll pay for your ads and your testing. That's how bullish I am. But they've got to be in a good opportunity and in a market that I'm familiar with. Right now, I'm focusing on, well, you just left it, but I was going to say IT, cybersecurity, anything that's a job op in tech is what I'm focused on right now, is where I'm centered. But yeah, if you can afford the 25K bill and you need a risk reversal, I'll do the first 5K in your ads and I'll get you launched in 60 days on a high ticket direct funnel. I'll take care of all the testing and everything. We can get you profitable. I mean, worst case math with this is you should be able to walk out with 20K net on your investment. So you'll be in the green. We'll have product market fit figured out. We'll have a closer of the sales process figured out. And then from there, we just do more of the same to scale you up. So that's kind of my promise currently. But yeah. Cool. Yeah, other questions? And once more, like, there's no bad questions. It could be unrelated sales consulting things too. Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, on Meta, do you have any kind of workarounds if your account gets, your Facebook Marketplace account gets hacked?
Yeah, so this was like a YouTube topic idea. I put a poll on my Instagram. Yeah, no. So what's important to know about Meta is their like biggest concern is what they care most about is how you interface with Meta. So like rule number 1, never access the Facebook Ads Manager by going to facebook.com, going to the left side, clicking Ads Manager and going up. 2, create a business portfolio as soon as you can and operate out of that always, 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 always. And make the business portfolio like your name, business, or whatever your company name is. Link your Facebook page, link your Instagram page, link any of the stuff that you're going to be doing to a business portfolio and operate out of a business portfolio. Never do it from your personal and things of that nature. Are you banned currently? Yeah, so I just had my client actually, the YouTube guy, coincidentally, Meta seems to hate him. Quick workaround, like actually, if you wanted to do it after the fact, look at your computer. So you should never access Facebook through the business manager or ads manager through the front end. If you go to your front page of Facebook and then you go to the left side here and you click the ads manager, it will then take you to like the ads manager platform. You're gonna have a little hamburger menu down here. If you click on this, it's gonna open up a bigger one. There'll be something that's like, I don't know, it's like a star and a star and a star and like a police badge. That's called like business settings. When you click this, it's gonna give you the reason why you were banned. So your like you and your profile is gonna be here, and then there'll be a whole list of your violations. If you're lucky, there'll be a button here called request a review, and you can request a review with them. If you need additional help with that, I have spent enough money on Meta and connected to enough things that, like my client, I'd spent an hour talking with them about it. But if was your ban recent or how long ago was it?
It was probably like 6 months ago, like almost, yeah, like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, so it's possible that it could not be overturned. Like they usually give you a window. Like this stuff will happen, and Meta doesn't tell you about it. They don't email you about it. But if you happen to know Meta, you can go in there and usually request a manual review. The other one is to create a new profile under, you can do the same name, email, and phone number, and same name, email, and phone number, create a new profile. If you really need a workaround, find somebody whose Meta is in good standing, create a business portfolio for them, invite you as the admin, and then just connect all your stuff, and then like they own the business portfolio, but you're just a master admin. None of their stuff will ever show up or be in your advertising. It's just another way to do it. So I have to do that for my client currently. They've been banned every which way. So I'm gonna own the business portfolio, connect their accounts to it, and just kind of run it under me.
Does it not work to do like a proxy or VPN or anything like that?
Yeah, so when it comes to how you use Meta, this is something that they're really sensitive to. Like, they know if you're on a different, like for example, Fathi's client, I've been helping him with some Facebook ad stuff. We had to update the payment details. Me in my apartment trying to put the client's new payment details in, it would say, hey, you need to do a bank verification. I go to Fathi's place, hop onto his Wi-Fi, plug in the payment details, accepts it immediately. So Meta is super sensitive to where and how you are accessing the platform. And so another thing too is if you're ever doing something and you get blocked for whatever reason, just like a normal activity, like if I say create a Facebook page, and it should be simple, and you watch a YouTube video on how to create a Facebook page, and you go through that process and it stops you for whatever reason, don't try to push past it. Let it sit for 24, 48 hours and try to do it again. If they're blocking you, it's because usually what they see is like unusual user behavior. This is why, like, you know, I'm gonna have to deal with this with clients and things that I work with, but if you've never used the business portfolio, if you open up Meta for the first time, open up a business portfolio, start creating a page and start to build an ad account really quickly, they will almost always just like stop you. Like you'll try to click Ads Manager, it won't load, or will say this page is unavailable. If that's the case, it's because you're just moving too fast through it and they could think that your account got hacked, what most scammers and people do on Facebook is they just create a new account, rip through all this stuff, open up an ad spend, and just dump money into it and push something that's really black hat really aggressively until it gets banned. So that's why they slow you down through this process, because they then check to see, you know, what you're doing. So that's why it's like start it a little bit sooner. I recommend that you go in there, play around, understand Meta's backend, like build 4 business portfolios, create a couple ad accounts. Don't create data sets or pixels, and just have it sit, because then there'll be the day that you want to do it and launch, and it's just easier to kind of go in and use what's there. So I had done that years ago in some program I bought, and that served me a lot with getting up and running.
So I know you mentioned that if you have like a friend's account, you can link basically your accounts to that
Yep.
person's. But you know, let's say you don't have anyone that you know that you go to like that. Like, is there I don't know, like is it practical to go and buy accounts, you know, and then use those accounts that like paid accounts that you bought?
I have heard of that. I just have never delved into that world. I don't know it. But I would say, like, I mean, I'm just thinking like Shanka. Like, I probably, without a doubt, he probably has a business portfolio that's not used in there to say, hey, bro, could I have a business portfolio? And he probably, most likely, most people don't know what that means or know the utility of it. So
If you get banned on their business portfolio, doesn't that affect them?
So you don't need a Facebook profile to run an ads. You need a Facebook page and an Instagram. If your Instagram has been, your Instagram's not banned.
No.
Yeah, your Instagram's clean. So you just need a Facebook page and an Instagram. So you can create a new Facebook page as like Godwin Satome Official, and then connect your Instagram, and you'll be set to run Meta ads.
Okay.
Yep. So your profile on Facebook is more of just like, if you think like an LLC, it's just like the person who's signing on like an LLC, but the LLC isn't you. You're just a person that owns it. If you're like a criminal, you can't create LLCs. That's why you just have somebody else sign, and then you can activate underneath it. Not saying be a criminal, so. Yeah, good stuff. Other questions you guys have got? They don't have to be sales, consulting, or Meta related. Could be anything related.
Would you recommend B2B, like, as in, does the niche matter for the full cycle role, or just B2B?
Yeah, there will be very few full cycle roles that are B2C. Like a full cycle role B2C would be like real estate wholesale cold calling. Like, do you want to sell your house? I recommend doing B2B. So most of it will be in B2B. If you are going to do it, I think something that will make it easier is sell things that people are already buying. Like, you could work with a startup that's got like some new tech, but that's just going to make it harder. Like, you don't need to understand how to sell new tech. You just have to understand how someone cold will react to you if they've never heard of you before. I learned this when I was doing M&A cold calling. I was calling business owners in just cold, saying, hey, do you want to sell your company? And I'm really damn good at that. Like, that's kind of like, if I had like a hidden talent, it's that. I could find some guy who, I've got a podcast made that will come out that talks more about my story in M&A. Like, I found some guy that had a $4 million trucking company, cold called him, blew it, visited him in Peoria, Illinois, and like we almost did a deal. So it's like, you can just create stuff like that. But you have to understand, it's like, how do you handle a gatekeeper? Like, what's your bulletproof way to get past a gatekeeper? What's your bulletproof way to get past like a number 2 in charge? How do you navigate like some org from the outside and just knowing how to, get through the dynamics of that? But I think the more important part is selling like what I would deem like a highly educated person. Because like a CEO of a company, just a highly educated, and then I would say like plus academic. Like, these are people that you have to, like, you can't say, like, when I first launched sales consulting, this whole remote closer model, I used to call it the marketing aligned function, the MAF, but that was just too complex for the people that I was like, for most people. But marketing aligned function and how I was able to define that would work great for someone who's like a high academic math type, and I can break down the math and science. We talk about that in the program, Desmond. You've seen the modeling tool where you explain the exact numbers of how it works. Knowing how to communicate to these guys, because these guys usually have a lot of money. But most of your clients aren't going to be that. I'm not at the point where I've yet kind of cracked these, and also those companies are so big that they require a bit more to come to. But that's why I call it the remote closer model. But you want to get a taste of selling to those academics and higher educated or more sophisticated like customer demographics, because yeah, you might have a sophisticated business owner, like the guy who was open letter market 800,000 to $1 million. He was more of that type. He needed a little bit more like education or like professionalism in how you speak to him. Like, you've got the guys that will do like, I don't know, like if you think about like the drop shipping kid that's made a ton of money, like if you put him in a room with a bunch of guys in suits trying to do like a real business deal, he'd get laughed out just because he doesn't fit the build. So yeah, that's also why we rock these too, is a certain level of professionalism. You show up to a meeting with this and have like the full pomp and circumstance, you can sell rich people. So that's a skill to develop.
Okay, one more thing to add on that.
Yeah.
So another option, if you want to kind of go up level and like really get to the C-suite, is Wellfound. So Wellfound is basically a platform. It's kind of like LinkedIn, but specifically for VC-backed startups. And they'll pay you a good base salary. I was making like probably like 100 to 150K a year. Actually, when I first moved to Medellin, I did 2 SDR jobs, which will allow you to do everything he's talking about. Yeah.
So it's specifically within VC, is it?
These are VC-backed startups.
Okay,
So you
gotcha.
can, when you go on Wellfound, you'll see them, and I can share you some of the protocols. But basically, you actually get to message the founder directly versus LinkedIn is you're just another resume in the pile. So yeah.
Sweet, appreciate it.
Yeah, this type of selling is, I don't like it more than, I love the high ticket, 1 call, 2 call stuff. So that's why I picked the niche that I'm in, because it's like, if I had to lead a sales team, I would rather lead a sales team of just like, you know, we can do identity closing, all the different tactics and stuff. It's just fun. These types of sales, this is where you'll have them drag out for 2, 3, 4 meetings sometimes for literally no reason, just other than the fact that they feel it should.
Some of the biggest deals I've done in enterprise, like a 500K deal, took like 6 to 18 months.
Yeah. But when you know how to do that, then it's like, okay, when you're approaching sales consulting, you'll have some of those people in your back pocket that you know is going to take that deal cycle. You understand how to keep that moving while you might be doing these smaller stuff in the interim. So that's where it's just like, you want to be that Swiss knife of all the different ways that you can sell to different demographics. So yeah, great question. Any other questions you guys have got? Once more, it doesn't have to be in the realm of sales consulting. Could be anything.
You leverage your connections that you've made with your clients. Like right now, you focus more on IT. Like, has that led to anything else? Like not necessarily a business, but something that you could upsell, someone that now you can connect to certain people. You know, maybe get a referral fee. Like, how do you monetize your network that you built with your clients and also maybe even your students?
Yeah, so I mean, the best way to monetize it sometimes, it's not for me monetizing, but it's just intros to people in the community. Like I'll have people that come my way that aren't quite my scope, and then I'll just hand them to someone that's like in my product. That's actually helped. I've had some people that got clients, like their case studies have been a result of that. Somebody kind of found and knew me through association. And I was like, look, I wouldn't pick that up, but I know somebody else who could. Introduce a student, they get a result, the client is happy, and then I'm known for having provide that value. So that's one. 2, in the program too, we teach you the networking protocol, which is a very kind of like direct response. Show of hands if you know what direct response means. Okay, yeah, direct response is like a field of marketing that is all about creating messaging that is going to elicit a reaction and a response. So the difference between direct response and general purpose marketing is like Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. They're not wanting you to react to that. They're just propagandists trying to get that thought in your mind. Because they know at some point you'll need car insurance and hopefully you'll hear that jingle and you'll do it. That's general purpose marketing. Direct response is, hey, if you just crashed your car and need an instant quote to figure out how you're going to get everything paid for, click this ad. You're trying to get someone in that moment to take an action. So we like to do networking with a bit more of a direct response angle to it, where you're just really clear about what it is that you're doing as like a sales consultant, and you ask people who know people who might know. So one of our members, Lucas, most recent case study, he's got a $3K a month client, no sales calls needed, like 3 to 4 hours a week worth of work, just kind of like high level. He's off in the Swiss Alps just skiing, enjoying himself. He got that because he's well connected with a sales influencer that teaches sales training, and so he knows the students in that, and they usually have sometimes offers that aren't bad. So if you have a closer, this is a great way. If you have friends that are closers that are in offers that are bad, but they're like the top producer of the offer is usually like the second born son to the business owner because they're making the most money. And so if they're like, hey, we need this and this and this, I'm not gonna do it for you, but what do you think? And if they agree, yeah, we need those, have him introduce you as the consultant. And it's kind of a rigged horse race to some extent. And then have him meet to you in private, and then you as the consultant meet with the business owner and sell him. Afterwards, this potential client will come back to the closer, what do you think, should we do this or not? And obviously your friend who's the closer is like, yeah, you definitely should, and then just like that, a deal is done. So that's kind of like the direct response deal making, that's kind of like the ideal for it. The challenge becomes if you don't have a bunch of closers, and that's why that whole school group funnel of you kind of creating a community and just having a bunch of salespeople in front of you and doing live calls and getting to meet them, and they build a bunch of trust and like you that you might figure out that they have opportunities for you. So that's a very indirect way. We're working on cracking the whole direct response client acquisition ourselves now. Like that's why I'm doing the whole paid ad stuff. Once I get that, we'll ship that for you guys. Yeah, Fatih.
It's a little bit black hat, but if you're on an offer with business owners, I may or may not have done this.
Yeah, this is actually a really good one.
You sometimes get shit in the funnel that is not going to close for that offer. And if you understand this model, you can ethically, of course, bring them on. Right, if they're not a fit for that specific offer, and they can work with you.
Sell B2B services. Yeah, sell B2B services are done for you. because who's coming through this funnel day in and day out? Business owners. And so you're going to understand them. You're going to build a really good relationship with them on the fly. You just shortcut the whole networking process on somebody else's dime. If they don't qualify, but they remember you and they like you as a salesperson, they may want to bring you as a closer. And if they want to bring you in as a closer, right to the offers. You could say, hey, I won't be a closer for you because I know what your business is, and I wouldn't want it like that. But I could be your team lead. I could do this for you. I could do that for you. So this is another ninja hack, sell on a B2B funnel. So those are the ones that we kind of actively advocate. Once we crack paid ads, then obviously we'll teach that to you guys. So great questions. And yeah, that's how Fatih got his client, the American Steel Core Builders. Is they weren't a good fit for what that guy was selling, but they liked you. And they liked you. And Fatih's smooth. He's a sales guy. He's got the gift of gab. Brings him in a private Zoom call. Inked and signed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Great stuff. Yeah. Other questions you guys have got? Could be anything. Yeah, Godwin.
Yeah, this is a little more off topic, but so I'm doing like ads for a company just as a side thing. I was doing Google Ads, but now I'm kind of getting them set up on Meta, set up their IG Facebook page, right?
Yep.
So basically, my question is, it's a brick and mortar business.
Yep.
So I know with brick and mortar businesses, it's not like a high ticket offer, right? It's like they're just looking to get more people to call or walk in the store, and it's kind of like their offer is like they give out license plates in New York.
Interesting. Like
So
custom
like everyone needs it.
vanity plates or just any plates?
No, like they're licensed by the DMV to give out license plates.
Ah, okay.
So
that alleviates the DMV from having to ship them direct. They can just go to this company. Ah, okay, yeah.
yeah, so I'm wondering how to set up those paid ads.
Yeah. So I would do the 30 over 15. I would look at like who buys this stuff the most. Is it just consumers or is there a specific type? Like it could be limo companies, it could be Uber people. Like, so look at who's buying the most of it and do those as your call outs. And the thing is too, if you want to move from specific to broad, you just need a pixel that has a lot of data on it for what you want. So it's like you do the specific, get a bunch of clients and make a bunch of revenue that way, and then you can open up your targeting or take out the headline because Google knows who should be booking, or Facebook knows who should be booking a call with you. So do the 30. It could be like if you're a new Uber driver or new to the city, and this is another one too where you got to get creative as a marketer where it's like it might not even make sense for you to do this ad in English. It might make sense for you to do it in Spanish or another language if you're getting a bunch of people that are coming there. So who's predominantly buying it? And it's like, once more in market. If you were to think about like what are the problems an in-market person has with their plate?
We're getting a play.
In a problem that in market, they said the DMV lines are too long.
Yeah.
Need a plate and waiting at the DMV. DMV line's too long. Need a plate in 30 days and the DMV is taking too long. So a bunch of in-market stuff. Test 30 of those and see what's bringing you the best leads. And yeah, do that twice and then you find something that's good. And then honestly, you could probably just have the image ad to like a lead form, capture form. And then you can get really good leads that way. Because it's like, if they're calling because like, oh yeah, DMV lines are too long, it's boom, bang on. Yep. Another thing too, ads never work because of the ads. Ads never work because of the messaging. It's never the algorithm. It's just what you're saying doesn't make sense. And well, I would say show of hands, how many people today have learned and kind of can understand that better after having the talk that we had? Yeah. So it's not the algorithm. It's what you're saying. In market, mid market, and out of market. Cool. All right. Any more questions?
Yeah, I got a question about BTB for tech. Because I went to one of the biggest summits, it's called Web Summit in Europe. It's actually not just in Europe, but that's where it's like really hot. And I met so many people that were like tech startups or mid like making a few, millions a month. And I was like, listening to them pitch me, and I was like, you guys really suck at pitching. You're really smart, AI stuff, tracking all this other stuff you're doing, but you suck at pitching and you have no idea how to get leads.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because I'm just like, how would you consult someone like that? Because they were asking me, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do like these long sales cycles, and I don't even know how I would set it up because I'm just more used to high tickets.
Yeah. Well, so I would say, what's your goal? Do you want to learn how to sell these people? Or just understand the strategy?
I want to understand the strategy to see if that's something I'd want to do or not. Because right now I just know that they suck at it, and that's it. Like they need it, and they want it too.
No, that makes sense. No, totally. So this is also conversely the reason why I'm in coding and tech boot camps. I did a webinar recently where there's 3 types of companies, and there's actually
Two types of deals, two types of founders.
Two types of deals. Yeah, two types of deals. Yeah, three types of found. Well, so people buy consulting because of a lack of experience, and there's three skills that founders have or lack. We'll just call it XP, right? That's what we do in video games. They don't ever spell it out. Anybody want to take a guess as to what the first skill is that founders have? There's three core skills you need to have to be killer at business. Anyone want to take a guess at the first?
Decision making.
Decision making. What did you say?
Product.
Yep, product. I put it here. Okay, any other guesses? Education, close.
No, delegation.
Delegation, that's close. Sales is the other one. Sales and marketing. So this is where there's the three angles to you selling your services as a consultant. Sales heavy people are usually great at conversions. They struggle with, let me actually just pull this up. I can't really call it off the top of my head. Give me 2 seconds here. I'll walk them through it. I've broken it down so well. So, yeah, sales, marketing, and product skill. How do you sell them? Sales heavy people are the hardest ones to close. They solve everything with just selling more, and they're better off as consultants a lot of the time. That's why it's for high ticket closers, because you guys are great at making money. But what they struggle with is product and marketing. Their biggest problem usually is marketing, more so than product. So this is most SMMA guys. You're really killer at sales. You struggle to get yourself leads consistently, and the product sucks because none of these two are in a place where you can develop a product. So that's a sales heavy person. The angle that you take is, hey, I can get you better and more leads. Marketing heavy founders, these are honestly more what influencers are like, where they have loads of leads, usually many product lines, and creators and influencers fall in the marketing category. Their biggest problem is they struggle with this sales process. They sometimes have a good product, but they don't know how to monetize that traffic in the most effective way possible. And then the third type is going to be product-heavy founders. These are people that struggle with the sales and marketing. So to bring that question full circle, how do you sell them? Well, you got to focus on selling them just the sales and marketing piece. And you're going to want to start with, it depends. Business owners are going to come with different levels of awareness. These are usually your best clients, product people. This is why I'm picking IT and coding boot camps, is because I don't want to work with someone who has a sales background. Like the lead generation agency, the real estate lead generation agency that has a client, that was a SMMA. It was just a 19-year-old kid that really did good at SMMA. Everything was sales for him. He could not understand marketing for the life of him. His marketing was so janky. We got his sales piece great, and then the business broke because we couldn't market well enough. What's another example? The fitness influencers that I worked with, they were marketing. They had leads, and they could get sales on low-ticket things for days. They really had a hard time doing high-ticket sales. It was a very different problem. Product. Yeah, I've predominantly just been with sales and marketing heavy people. Product, and I guess we see this with our students as well. Product is someone who's got a tech skill or a really good tech background or really product heavy is great. Although the challenge though, the reason why I don't like startups and new tech specifically is just because it's hard to make new tech work. It's you see how big GHL is, and GHL isn't even it's a tool, but it's not great at all those things it does. So I don't like SaaS solutions. I like education coaching programs because that's what I know best. And if you just market that well, it's that's what I know, bread and butter. But I'm sure there's people that are better at product stuff, and these skills are equally applicable for SaaS and whatnot. And I know Desmond, you kind of come with that background. So, but you sell them either based on the basis of, hey, I can help you get leads, or I can help you on the basis of getting marketing. There's a ton of SaaS companies and businesses that exist that are just a lot of those, the things that Desmond talked about, those full cycle sales. All this is complex products that need lead gen, and their service is done for you, outsourced sales as a service. And so that's where you guys are just manual marketing because they have not figured out enough resonance or have enough customers to just do the whole paid ad stuff, or their products could never go there. But I don't recommend those kinds of companies, but you might find some that are a good fit. So yeah, cool, great question.
Do you know anyone that's crushing it with that?
Say that again?
Do you know anyone that's crushing it with people, sales consulting to people who are heavy on product, tech people?
There comes a point
Gotta
where
be somebody really good at it.
That's pretty much what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say that Desmond's in that space. I don't know any people like Nick Cosman is someone that does that. But honestly, the amount of work that it is, if you become a killer at this, you are just a tech founder. Like you're better off just owning the product because your product is so influenced by the marketing. Like I talked about earlier with that example of the different pain points for YouTube and you figure out that script writing is the thing that might be the mega pain. If I have a SaaS product and I figure out that script writing's it, my whole SaaS is just going to be built around that one product and pain. And so this is where your product is influenced by your marketing. And there comes a point where if you get really killer at that, you might as well just own the tech that you're doing. But also, a great way to get tech adoption is through education. That's what publishing.com is. They are this publishing AI software that's wrapped in this 2K and 7K upsell info program to teach you how to use it. So that's why, like, if I had to do with SaaS, I would do an education thing in front of it. Like, if I could, I'd have consulting.ai made for you as a subscription, and then you guys could buy that. That's what Eman's kind of moved to. It's like all of his SMMA stuff has just been packaged into Flozzy or whatever the heck it is now. So this is where you see companies that will go from education. Because like also education is just like, education turns into a service is something that you do manually. Like you're manually doing something, and then if you do it enough times, you can begin to automate it or delegate it. And then if you get really good at it, you just get a computer to do it. This is like car manufacturing. First, like one person to figure out how to do the car, and then they figured out how to make people make cars, and then Henry Ford refined it down to you just do this movement all day, and then it's like, well, why are we paying you a salary and you need to sleep? And then just give it to a computer. So this is like just how things get taken over by tech.
That's great because like honestly for me, I'm thinking 5 years, 10 years. Like how do I get into front of these people? But what value do they need? Which is usually sales or marketing. Mm-hmm. And my idea is like, okay, I get these connections. Maybe I can get some equity deal because I helped them, or maybe I get a contact. And I'm just thinking even more than just sales. But like, I like this. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, if I to add to that, yeah, I just closed the client specifically for that reason because there is a advantage to it, which is equity. Mm-hmm. And then if you get a portion of the recurring revenue, if you can make the deal like that, now you have a new income stream and a really good business partner.
Yeah. So one thing also too, I would say is kind of a caveat, this whole concept of like rev share, is something that kind of enlightened me too. The reason why at a point it's better to just kind of own the product in business is because there comes a point where it's like you are it. Like if I'm doing your sales and your marketing, I'm honestly more of the business than you are, because if you're just a product without that, you're nothing. And so this is why like this sales consulting is the supreme skill, because if you can find someone to do a product for you, you can make it work. Like when I thought about doing the whole IT tech coaching and boot camps, I was like, I could just find some guy off LinkedIn that happens to really love teaching and build the business around him, and he's just an employee for me on payroll, and I would make more money than having to do like a 50-50 split with somebody. But that's inherently a lot of risk, and so as you get better at these skills, you can just find different ways you want to solve the problem.
Yeah. Smart.
It's very smart. Can you say that again one more time?
Yeah, so if you understand sales and marketing, you are more of a business than the person with a product that hasn't figured that out. And so the question becomes, do you want to partner with products, or do you just want to create a product? Because the product is so influenced by the marketing, but like, if you have something that sells really well, it's like McDonald's, like their product is okay, but they're just the best at sales and marketing. And so there comes a point where it's like, you could get a lot of poetic justice here if you're great at the packaging and top piece. And depending on how you play the game, if you blow something up with a ton of sales and marketing, your product's mid, like this is kind of the VC game. Get a bunch of customers, get people buy your stuff, and then like sell it before it breaks, and then leave that to some private equity firm to figure out, hand it off to the big boys. So you see like bigger people picture play different, like bigger players play different games. But this all starts with, well, I'd ask the room, can you see how this all starts with this skill that I kind of deem sales consulting? Show of hands. Yeah, cool. So this is like the core thesis, but like this is very different than the whole like push button get riches. This is why it's hard to like get you guys to do sales consulting. The live events I think probably help. Cool, great stuff. Show of hands, who's hungry? Sweet, who wants to go to the dinner that we're sponsoring?
Well, first we'll take a group picture.
Oh yeah.
And then sit down, we have a reservation at the Italian one, so
yeah.
it will be great. Yeah.
Okay, so we just broke down exactly how to land your first clients, even if you don't have case studies, testimonials, or a referral yet. You now have the blueprint. But remember, it only works if you actually use it. So take what you've learned today, start implementing, and watch how fast things can start moving. And once more, if you missed part 1, make sure to watch it. The link is down below in the description. That's where we cover the remote closer model, the intro to consulting, and how you can actually go out there and land deals on your own. And if you got value from this video, drop a comment below letting me know what your biggest takeaway was. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads. I'll see you in the next one.